going on, everyone? Everybody here on Whiskey Tube. Happy Thirsty Thursday. I'm excited to be on here tonight. I got a few things to get through. No guest tonight, just me and my thoughts and my uncracked bottles here. So hopefully you find my solo effort here somewhat interesting here tonight. So what we're going to do here this evening is on the thumbnail, I think you should have seen three bottles. You should have seen the Traverse City Cherry here, the Star Hill Farm Maker's Mark, and the Old Fitz Bottled and Bond. I did get this Barrel Batch 37 in the mail today from the nice folks at Barrel. So I've actually got four bottles that I'm going to get through here tonight. A couple of these I've tried already. I've tried the Star Hill Farms. I did a review on it, posted it a couple of weeks ago. Loved it, so I'm thrilled to get a bottle of it here. The Traverse City I did have this past weekend. Talk more about that in just a moment. So we've got four bottles that I'm going to crack for the giveaways tonight. I'm going to do two winners. You'll get a flight of each one of the four bottles here. I might do a third if I could think of something interesting along the way here this evening, but at least two winners, flight of four from these four bottles here, which we'll get to in just a moment. So it's been a pretty interesting week here, not just for me personally, but also for the channel. Going back to last week was my birthday. And we usually do some type of a road trip for my birthday, my wife and I. So this past weekend, we drove up to Traverse City, one of our favorite places. And I'm thinking about it, probably about the most scenic place that you can get to from here without driving more than about 4 hours. So we absolutely love it up there. Just one of the most beautiful places that we've ever been to. We always have a blast up there. So we were definitely excited to go up there. Friday, we drove up there, and the first thing that we did after we checked in, we went to this place called Barrio, which is a taco place, and it's got like a really cool. It's right downtown, and it's got like one of these facades where you can walk right into the restaurant from the street. Like you can go through the door, but like most of the restaurant is open to the street. Like you just walk right in, and they have fantastic tacos and fantastic drinks. They've got like these shrimp tacos that my wife just absolutely loved the last time we were there. And, she's been talking about it, leading up to the trip. And so we go there, we sit down, we look at the menu, and sure enough, they're not on the menu anymore. So, they do this thing where you build your own taco, whatever. And we did. It wasn't quite as good as it was last time. But the drinks that they had there were fantastic. And then from there, we went over to which I think has become our consensus favorite stop in Traverse City, which is a place called the Tasting Room. If you're up in Traverse City or have ever been, check out the Tasting Room. It's kind of like, I don't want to describe it. It's like an upscale restaurant, but they've also got like a giant bar, a lot of seating, huge tequila list, huge bourbon list. They've got like the menu with like the 100 bottles or whatever it is. Maybe it's even more. I don't know. It's a ton. So we sit down at the bar. We go some appetizers. We're relaxing, having a good time. I'm looking at the bourbon list and trying to figure out what I want. And on the bar, I see a George T. Stagg. So I'm looking to see what the price was. It's not in the book. It's not in the menu. So I had to ask. I'm like, well, what's a pour George T. Stagg? And the bartender tells me 60. I'm like, okay, well that's okay. Is that 1 ounce or two? And she says for two, and I pour heavy. So count me in. That's what I'm having. So I got to pour George T. Stagg. It was absolutely fantastic. I think it was a 24. So if you've had that one, you know what I'm talking about. Followed that up with a pour of something else that I hadn't had. And it was the Woodford Reserve double oaked, which sounded interesting, and I love double oak stuff. But for $200 a bottle. There's no way I was going to buy that one. That was one that was on my try a pour, go from there. And so I did. I followed the GTS up with a pour of the double oaked, and it probably wasn't fair to have that pour on the heels of a George T. Stagg, but it didn't really hit for me. So I won't be buying that bottle. So if you've had the double oaked, let me know what you think of that one. But I'm gonna end up skipping on that. Following day, we got up, and it was the Traverse City Whiskey Company's Cherry Fest, and they do this every year. I think it was maybe this is like the sixth one or something. If I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments. But they've got like a party that they have outside. They've got vendors, food trucks, and they do a release of their barrel proof cherry bourbon. And what it is, they source from MGP, and this is their 10-year heritage edition. So it's 10-year MGP, and then aged in Traverse City. And at some point, it's infused with Mount Morency cherries. So it's actually got cherries in it, which makes it sound like it's going to be the cherriest thing ever. But the pour that I had, it was pretty. I mean, the cherries there. It's not overpowering. It's more subtle than I was expecting for having actual cherries in it. So I'm going to try this again here in just a moment and see if it tastes any different out of the bottle. But not as much cherry as I was expecting, which is good. Just a hint is nice. I mean, MGP to me kind of hits with a little bit of fruitiness on its own. So, with actual cherries, it sounds like maybe that's a formula for it being overpowering with the cherry stuff. But no, it's very pleasant. So I'm gonna probably pour this one here first. I think get into that. Before I do that, but I say hello to some of you guys here in chat. Let's see who we got here. We got Wise Guy Stu. Send the link. Well, we'll see how this goes here, buddy. We've got Top Jimmy. What's going on, buddy? Roger Reese. How you doing, Roger? Liz B. What's going on, Liz? We got Douglas Papa. What's going on, Doug? Bourbon Dan. There's a man from Traverse City himself. And Dan's recommendation was for us to check out the Low Bar, which we did, which is kind of like a speakeasy, kind of down the street from the tasting room. It's underground. It's got the really dim lights, the candles, like the huge bourbon bar. Kind of like your typical or what you would expect from a speakeasy. Cool joint. To me, they had better cocktails than they had. Well, I mean, they had a really extensive bourbon list, but the prices for the pours were pretty insane. Like it was $110 for a GTS at the Low Bar, so I passed. Let's see who else we got here. Whiskey Knows. What's going on, Marty? Marty's soaking up the rays on the beach somewhere down south. Joe the Sample Guy. What's up, dude? Let's see. We've got Girth Brooks. What's going on, big fella? Travis Robeson. What's going on, Travis? CJP. What's going on, buddy? And CJP, one of the newer members to the Patreon. So thanks for joining, buddy. Let's see. Chris Jenkins. What's going on, Chris? Fritzy. How you doing, buddy? Top Dog is in the house. What's going on, Top Dog? Vogelsang. What's going on, Dave? How you doing? What's in the Glen tonight, Dave? Let's see. Looks like I think I'm caught up here. All right, yeah. Fritzy's in the house. Oh, Gary, what's going on, buddy? Gary, another new member to the Patreon. So welcome aboard, Gary. All right. So yeah, the Traverse City Whiskey Fest was in the kind of in the morning, like around noonish on Saturday, and it was that day where it was just insanely hot. Like I think it was like 96 or 98 or something. It was just friggin' hot. So we didn't stay outside too long. We ended up making our way up towards Sutton's Bay for the remainder of the day. On Saturday, we went up to Hop Lot, had a couple of beers. We had dinner there and kind of tried to find shade because, Saturday, it was friggin' hot. So Then Sunday, when we got back, we were setting up for the releases that we did, the Evernorth picks. So this was the first pick that we had, for sale through the Patreon group. So it was kind of a big deal for our channel. I had some help kind of getting set up from Katie and Ethan, the Turks Drifting Drams, Jeff from Hello Again Whiskey Friends kind of walked me through how to, set up the drops and the timing and all that. So what was interesting for me was, I'm in a lot of Patreon groups for the last several years, and I've certainly been on that side of the equation for trying to figure out how many bottles are going to drop. What tier am I in? Should I go up? Should I just stay the same? What should I do? So it was interesting. We kind of got like an influx of new members, which is cool. And being fair, I mean, that's probably why I joined a handful of the groups that I did early on as well, is to get access to picks. So to be able to provide that as part of the Patreon group, certainly a big benefit. So it was interesting, having the influx and seeing people change tiers and what have you. And then on Monday night when the link started to drop, I was kind of nervous. I just didn't want to be the one to fuck it up, like provide access to like the free tier before everybody was accounted for in the higher tiers. But it seemed like it went off pretty well, coordinated pretty well. A big shout out to Katie and Ethan for kind of doing a lot of the verbiage and telling us, here's the tiers across the different groups. Yours should be at this time, at this time, and this time. So those guys are just real pros. From the going on the picks, getting set up. So I can see why they participate in a lot, and people want them to participate. Not only do they have great palettes, but they're great people, and they're just really on top of the details to kind of make this go as smoothly as it does. So shout out to you guys, Katie and Ethan specifically. So this is the Traverse City Whiskey Company Barrel Proof Heritage 10-year infused with cherries. It is 109.6 proof. And I did have a real small pour at the fest. I think it was pretty early. And then we had some like slushies or something because it was so hot. So let's get into this a little bit. Yeah, it's the cherry subtler than you'd expect. I mean, I'd expect to be blasted with, like artificial cherry almost, but it's almost like a cherry cobbler, like more of the crust or the graham cracker kind of notes offset the cherries in it to make it a little bit more even and balanced. Nice nose on this. Cheers, everyone. What's in the Glens for you guys here tonight? Okay, on the palate, that the first sip, I do get a good blasted cherry right in the middle of the palate as it's kind of making its way to the back. So yeah, that cherry note is a bit pronounced on the palate, more so than the nose for sure. Urban Bounty, what's going on, buddy? And it's got a little bit of heat to it at the end as well. That proof definitely lets you know that it's there. Got some good legs on this, some good stretch marks, sure. Yeah, nice, just a pleasant pour all around, I think, on this. Anybody had this or any of the other previous releases from Traverse City Whiskey Company, the cherry specifically? News about whiskey, what's going on? All right. UA unallocated pour tonight. What does that mean, Liz? Is that like a brand I'm not familiar with? Or are you just being mysterious? What are we talking about? Top Dog wine tonight. This morning I picked up a bottle and tried the Penelope cigar blend. What'd you think of it? It sounds interesting. um, would be how I would put it. Sounds like a really unusual blend of whiskeys, and then to call it a cigar blend. I mean, I know a cigar blend could really mean anything. Um, I mean, I guess it sounds like the goal is to make sure that it's bold and it can stand up to a cigar. But are those three different whiskeys combined? Do they get you home on that one? I guess is what I'm curious about. Stretch marks are better than skid marks. You know, it's trying to think of an exception to that rule, Travis, but I think that might be a pretty good corollary. Jason Zell, I've got one of the Traverse City barrel proof from 2023. Fantastic pour. You know, I didn't try the 23. I think last year's was the first one that I had. And I think last year it was a 6-year age statement. And this year it's 10. Um, the price on these, I want to say last year, I think it was like 89 or 94. And then this year it was 99, which is, it's a little steep. But given that it's a 10-year, I mean, I felt like it wasn't a terrible price point. So, I mean, I was at the fest, I was up there, I was going to grab one. Um, they said that these might make their way to the stores. We'll see. Semi-private group, someone say. Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. All right, Troy, what's going on, dude? Finally home early enough to see one. Yeah, I know. What is it? Like 4 o'clock over there or something? All right. Top dog. I regret buying the Penelope cigar blend. Okay. Well, there you have it. It does look like a really cool bottle, though. I know Jason cracked one last night. I can't remember if he was super impressed or not. I know he also cracked the Barrel 37, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But yeah, Penelope, I'll be honest, Top Dog's not really one of the brands that I gravitate towards. Um, there was like a toasted barrel from a few years ago that I liked, and then like the Architect, I wasn't really a big fan. And I usually like the French oak stave stuff, but this one just didn't really do it for me. I'm trying to think if I got any other Penelopes. I think that might be it. Let's see here. We've got Gary. What's up, dude? Howdy, hey, y'all. And I regret not buying more of those Dusty Dan and with. You regret not buying more. Well, I'm trying to remember what you actually purchased, but I got at least one to drink and one to back up, and a few more for giveaways for future streams, events, or what have you. So I think I did my part. There's my buddy Danny. What's going on, Danny? How you doing, man? Are you sipping tonight? And then I saw Mr. Randall Erickson. Better late than never. Cheers, everyone. Well, cheers to you, Randall. Hope you're doing all right, buddy. Whiskey nose. Yeah, so good to see everybody here, as always. Yeah, this is a pleasant pour. I mean, 10-year MGP, you can't really go wrong as a base, right? I mean, it's pretty decent aged juice, and then you actually add in some cherries, which is what Traverse City, Michigan, is known for. Thanks for an interesting, unique product. All right. Chris Setters, what's going on? All right, so I'm going to give Chris some flowers here. My Patreon group is coming up on its 1-year anniversary next month, I think. We started it in July of last year. And Chris, I think, was either the first or second member to join. So, Chris, thanks for your support. I'm glad I'm happy to see you in chat. Hope you're doing all right. And thanks for stopping in for sure. Peter White, what's going on? Yeah, that's awesome. I love it when new faces show up that aren't usually here. That makes me feel good. Jeff Wack, what's going on? Are you back in on dry land? Singing your praises a little bit earlier about kind of helping me get set up with the Patreon stuff for our drop the other day. These guys are pros at it now. Actually off work. Love the channel. Well, Chris, we really appreciate you, man. I can't stress that enough. All right, that guy is whack. You know what? He is kind of whack. He's an all right dude. Cheers, Jeff. All right, so I would say that this Traverse City cherry, it's got one of those effects or finishes where it kind of builds on the back of your palate. Feels like it's kind of stacking up a little bit, like more of that cherry that cherry flavor is just kind of sitting on the back corners of your palate. It's not really a corner, you know what I mean? Like kind of on the back outside of your palate, it's kind of building up, like it's kind of almost filling my cheeks, I suppose. Um, Really good. I think that I'm enjoying this one quite a bit more than the last year's, which, I like that one as well. So cheers, gang. Sugar Kitty, what's going on? Meow. Has anybody else had this besides the 2023? Is it tart or sweet? Um, I would say it's got a little bit more sweetness. I did read that the cherries that they use are tart cherries, but to me, the notes on the channel or the notes on the channel, the notes on the whiskey are not translating as tart. It's more of a sweetness to me. Um, Again, kind of more like a cherry cobbler, where the crust, the graham cracker notes, the crust, like the baking spices, are kind of maybe absorbing that tartness and making it translate into like a little bit of sweetness to me. But I wouldn't say it's overly sweet at all, Josh. But tart versus sweet, I would definitely say it's more towards the sweeter side, if that makes sense. People are already getting bottles. Bourbon Outfitter doesn't mess around. Yeah, I think mine are supposed to show up tomorrow, Jeff. I think Dan said he got his earlier. I know somebody in Gary's group, I think he's local, might have got his today. So, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, well, I was hopeful that we would get them before the 4th of July weekend. And it looks like we should have them actually before this weekend as it's tracking. My bottles arrived tomorrow. Yeah, you're over on the East Coast, which I think they're shipping out of like Maryland or DC. So yeah, it makes sense that you're going to get yours, amongst the first of us here, Randall. I'm really anxious to see what you guys think of these. They're three very different, three very unique whiskeys for sure. So yeah, I'm curious to see, what you like, what you don't. If you think that we pick some winners, if you think that we're all idiots, or maybe somewhere in between, it's probably more likely. All right. All right. So just going to finish this last bit of this one here, the Traverse City. How do people feel about Traverse City Whiskey Company outside of Michigan? Is it a brand that people seek out or don't really care about? Or I guess I'm curious. I mean, I know how we feel about it in the state, but how about outside of Michigan? What do you guys think of this particular brand? My PN guy lives over by OU, so I'm surprised you're waiting another day. Yeah, that's not far from me at all, Gary, as you know. So, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's fine. All right. You can pick fantastic whiskey, but still be a bunch of jack wagons. I have no issue with that assessment, Sugar Kitty. That tracks. Traverse City has always been on my radar, thanks to some good MGP picks. Yeah, Jeff, I don't know if you heard this one is a 10-year with actual cherries in it. So kind of a interesting twist on MGP. Won't see it in Virginia among other great bottles. Yeah, it's hit and miss with everything in every state, I suppose. But I thought Traverse City had a pretty decent footprint, and sometimes they'll be on either Seal Box or Bourbon Outfitter. There she is. There's my wife. They make an excellent frozen whiskey drink, don't they? What we had a couple of while we were there, since it was so friggin' hot, they had like frozen Coke. If it was like frozen cherry Coke infused with the whiskey, and then they would throw like a couple of the Traverse City cherries in the drink at the end. So on a hot day, it really hit the spot. I mean, even if it wasn't hot, it was probably would have been amazing. But especially on a hot day, the slushy was the right call. We had a few of those. Hard to go wrong with good aged MGP. Yeah, absolutely. Aged MGP is next level good. I mean, there's a reason why everybody sources from there, right? All right. So I think the next one that I'm going to pour here is this Barrel 37, which again I just uh, received today. Barrel is one of the few brands that will actually send bottles or samples to my channel to have us review or give them feedback on. So I always think that's cool. I mean, obviously we're really small, so hopefully that there's more in the future. But Barrel's been sending me bottles for the last maybe 6-7 months, starting with the foundation, then the double barrel foundation, which I thought both were outstanding. And I was really looking forward to the sherry cask finish bourbon. And I would see like some of the other guys and some of the other channels, trying it, giving it, reviews. I want to say maybe it was Dusty Dan that liked it. Chris at Bourbon of the Week, I want to say I saw him post on it. And I love sherry finish. I was really excited to see if they would send that one to me as well, and they didn't. So, Murphy's Law, right? So I hadn't heard from them from a bit or for a while. I reached out to see if I get a sample of that cherry finish, and they said, "How about we just send you the 37 for your review?" What am I going to do? Say no? So I will crack that next. World's Worst Bourbon Channel would know. As long as it tracks, I'm just playing. All right, buddy. All right, so barrel batch 37. Really on there. Solid pop. All right, let's get a fresh Glen here. All right, and again, I'm using the whiskey glasses tonight as opposed to the Glens. I've kind of gotten used to using these, and why I like these, I think, better than I like regular Glens is because you can kind of grip the bottom a little better. It's got a bigger base, and let's be honest, I got fat fingers, so it's easier for me to grab one of these than it is to awkwardly hold the Glen sometimes. And it does have the tapered nose, so it does the thing with trapping in the aromas. All right, so this one, I feel like I'm getting honey and orange. Interesting. Yeah, honey, orange, baking spices. Not an overly bold nose. I would say it's a little bit more subdued. World's Worst is one of those jack wagons. Yeah, probably right, Gary. I'm right there with you. You know what they say about men with fat fingers? Probably a lot of things, but I don't know that any of them are really complimentary, Randall. But it is what it is. I mean, I own it. All right, so spin this one up a little bit. Yeah, like honey, maybe honeyed ginger, baking spice, and orange. Yeah, nice orange note on this. This is where I'm going to struggle. They've got the blend information. Oh, okay, no, they've actually got it on the front too. I thought I was going to have to read this fine print on the back, and there's no way I'm doing that without readers. But as far as what this is, it is 111.38 proof, which I think is kind of on the lower side for barrel cask strength. Aren't they usually upwards of like 120-ish? So this one's a little lower, 111.38. 10-year Kentucky, 8, 11, and 12-year Indiana. And then Tennessee 13, 14, and 15. So it's got some pretty good age whiskey in there. That is a lot of Tennessee, and I know they use Dickel a bit at barrel, and I know people have their opinions on that one way or the other. I'm not one of those that finds Dickel terribly objectionable. I know there are some, like my friend Danny here, who if there's any Dickel in it, he can taste it and he absolutely hates it. I don't think my palate is sensitive enough to pick that particular note out. I've heard it described as what, like Flintstones vitamins or something. I don't get that. I know, Danny, you told me you got it quite a bit on the double barrel foundation. I didn't get it at all. Um, so I don't know if this is going to be something that you like or not. I'll certainly get you a sample. Danny's one of my buddies here that's local, and he's actually a good barrel fan, I would say, right, Danny? Usually buy the batches, or I know you bought quite a bit of them over the years, right? All right, on the palate. All right, so it's either spicier or hotter than I was expecting. Yeah, it's got a good bit of spice to it for sure. I would say it drinks hotter than the 111. Um, a lot of the same notes that I was getting on the nose kind of are following along the palate here. You know, the especially the orange, the honey and the orange are what's sticking with me. The vitamin note, as people call it, has to do with the iron in the water. Some people are very sensitive to it. Some like it, some don't. I don't know that I pick it up enough to have an opinion on it one way or the other. They dickle hard. Yeah, I do think they source quite a bit. Enjoy the New Year variations because the dickle is hidden. Okay. My favorite barrel products are the seagrass and the dovetail, which, I mean, if there's Dickel in it, they're probably camouflaged or masked a bit by the finishes involved. But those are my two favorite barrel products. And then I do really like the foundation and the double barrel foundation. This, I don't know where I would rank. I certainly don't like it more than the dovetail or the seagrass products. Um, there is a note that's kind of lingering. And I wonder if that's that, could this be in my head, obviously, but um, maybe it is like a little bit of minerality that's just kind of lingering on the finish. It's not completely unpleasant, but I don't love it either. Um, but yeah, the nose I enjoy, the palate I enjoy, but there is a residual note on the back end that it's kind of lingering that I'm not loving, and I'm wondering if maybe this will open up or maybe it'll subside as I sip through it a little bit. But initial reaction, not loving it. All right, did like the seagrass I had. Yes, seagrass is a completely unique animal. Roger Reese, the new PX sherry finish is very good, borderline exceptional. That's what I've heard, and I love sherry finishes. I was looking forward to them sending me either the sample or the bottle. I just didn't get it. I just was left wondering if certain bottles go to bigger channels and certain ones don't. I don't know how I fit in with the barrel hierarchy, if at all. Um, Kyle Root, what's going on? Had a blast helping bottle your picks at Evernorth. So you're a local dude, obviously. Um, Mark Boyer always tells me that he goes to those, and those are fun. I want to say maybe Liz goes to those as well. Um, what do the guys do? They usually give you a bottle, buy you lunch, and you get to hang out and you know have a blast. It doesn't sound like a bad deal to me. Let's see. Chris Sorrell, what's going on? Chris Sorrell has had some solid luck on the wheel here. And while I'm thinking of it, I didn't even put the banner up yet, did I? All right. Let's try this. Like I said at the very beginning here, we're going to do two winners. Two winners will each get a flight of the four whiskeys that I'm drinking through tonight. First one was the Traverse City Heritage 10-year cherry infused MGP. Second is the brand new Barrel Batch 37, which I'm sipping right now. And the next two are probably the headliners, I would say. We've got the Maker's Mark Star Hill Farms, which I have had, and then the Old Fitz Bottle and Bond, courtesy of my buddy Marty, which I have not tried yet. Seems like I've heard some mixed things, mostly positive on the Old Fitz. Is that kind of the consensus? Most people seem to like it, but don't love it. Maybe a few people have loved it. Maybe a few people have hated it, but seems tracking more towards positive feedback on the Old Fitz. So we'll get to that one. I'm a big Barrel Craft fan. I'll send you a sample of the sherry finish via Boyer. That would be great, Liz. I really appreciate that. And Mark's probably got that bottle. He gets everything, Boyer. Up, he makes the rounds up there in northern Michigan, scoops up all the good stuff. Good pizza and 10 different barrels to taste. Oh yeah, you get to taste everything too. So what did you taste the three that we dropped, Kyle? And if so, what were your thoughts? Did you have a favorite of the three? I'll tell you mine here in just a minute. He was a good human, very good. Yeah, you know what? Gary Franchi is he is a good human. And he's not gonna like this, but I kind of identify with Gary because I feel like he's got my sense of humor, which I'm not Gary, not trying to insult you, but Gary's got that really dry, goofy sense of humor that I identify with. And yeah, we made friends right off the bat here. The neck pour is mad, but it opens up real good after a week. Okay, Randall, have you had the Barrel Batch 37? I think this just released. Those old barrel 13, 14-year rye single barrels were great. Peter, you know what? I don't know that I've had. The only barrel rye that I've had is the Seagrass. Yeah, it's good. It's not great, is how I would probably describe this one. The 18-year and the Weeder were great. All right, yeah, the Weeder was my favorite, Kyle, and I got a few extras of those that I ordered because I absolutely love that one. It was completely unique to me, and then to find out that it was one of the newer barrels that no one had, uh, I thought it would be really cool to have it as one of our picks. So I'm glad that we were able to get that one. I just absolutely love it. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Old Fitz. I'm sorry. Okay. Those Canadian rye picks. I think you're referring to the barrel stuff. Okay. Jackwagon, dry sense of humor. Is it? Okay. Is Sugar Kitty, is that the English dictionary or is that the Urban Dictionary? Very chetty. Okay. All right. Kyle. Cherry. Okay. I think I'm picking up what you're laying down. All right. You have a 14-year barrel Canadian rye. That's amazing. Is that an older release there, Girth? I don't know that I've seen that one anywhere. There were MGP single barrels as well. Yeah, barrels is an interesting brand. Like for a while, there were store picks everywhere. I've not seen any in a while. The store picks that I got were probably about 3 years ago. They're all finished, and they're all like way over 130 proof. Like it's some of the hottest whiskey that I've got in my collection. Was a couple of these single barrels. Pick. All right. Yeah. So barrel batch 37. There's been some of these barrel batches that I've loved. I want to say they were in the maybe late 20s, like 26, maybe sticks in my head. Danny would have a better idea or a better recollection because it was probably a sample from him. But I want to say the late 20 barrels I liked. I don't know that I've had a lot in the 30s. Um, so I don't know if this compares favorably to some of the, 35, 36, 34, whatever. I can just tell you that it's not blowing me away. Big Vic, what's going on, dude? If you're not subscribed to Big Vic's channel, make sure you check him out. He does streams that last for, I think, 17 hours. Vic, am I right? I'll usually sign on for a bit, hang out, and then I'll see the next day how long the stream went. It's usually like some ungodly amount of time, like 6, 8, 9, 10 hours. So Mr. Marathon over there. Cheers, Vic. All right. CJP, after liking batches 33, 35, and 36, it sounds like skipping 37 is a possibility. For what these run, and then they usually run about $85, if I'm not mistaken, CJP. I'm probably going to pass on this one too. Unless it really opens up and changes, this isn't for the price point. It probably rated as it's okay. Northwest Bourbon in the house. What's going on, Northwest Bourbon? The mash and drum. What's going on, dude? Jason, I know that you cracked this one last night. I don't remember if you. I wanted to say you came around a little bit on it. I don't think you initially liked it, but maybe you kind of came around on it a little bit. I'm not really digging it. So maybe it'll open up. I don't know, but Barrel Batch 37, probably not a recommend. All right. Northwest Bourbon. What did Vic say here? Vic, what's your record amount of time for a stream? It drinks spicy but lacks balance. Not worth it. Yeah, it's either hot or spicy or both. It didn't seem like the palate was congruent to the nose. Like I really wasn't expecting, red hot or that big blast of spice. Is not one of their better efforts, in my opinion. Mash and Drum, Skinny Jeans, and Captain Crunch. What? All right. So hey, I'll tell you what. 2 of you guys are going to win this in your flight. So maybe you save yourself $85 of buying this one because I certainly won't buy it. All right. Cheers. Thanks everybody for hanging out for a bit on a Thursday night here. All right. Cleanse the palate here a little bit. All right. I think I'm going to do the Old Fits next, and then maybe finish with the Star Hill Farm. Now, the Star Hill Farm, spoiler alert, is probably one of the top 3 whiskeys I've had this year. And, I was a big fan of Maker's Mark when I kind of first started getting into bourbon and into whiskey. I chased down the wood finishing series, the ones with the goofy, license plate numbers for their names, like BEP and RC6 or whatever the heck, the ones they're talking about that they did for like 3 to 4 years, maybe even longer. It was 4 or 5 years. I chased them all down. They were all, reasonably findable, and I enjoyed them. I do like, right, at least at the beginning of my whiskey journey, I really enjoyed the Maker's Mark stuff. I found it very approachable. There's not really a whole lot going on that's objectionable. Prices are pretty friendly, and it's generally findable. So these are all good things that you're looking for as somebody who's just kind of getting into the hobby. So Maker's Mark really appealed to me. Then I think with the 23 cellar age, that was a unicorn for me. Had to have it. Finally got it, and just was like, it's okay. After that, I don't think I bought a Maker's Mark bottle for almost 2 years. I know I didn't get anything last year, and I wasn't intending on buying any Maker's Mark this year until I got a sample of this, and it's completely new. I think I mentioned this in my video. If you look at the bottle, the shape, the top, the label, you almost wouldn't know this is a Maker's Mark product. It's like they did everything they could to differentiate this from their bourbons. I mean, it does have like their little embossed logo on the glass, um, but aside from that, I mean, it's completely different. And in my opinion, they needed it because I mean, for people who've been in the hot, enthusiasts, maybe Makers is a brand that still does really appeal to those who are kind of newer into the hobby. But for someone who's been into it for a few years, it's kind of dull. It's kind of a dull brand, and I feel like for at least for us, maybe intermediate, whiskey hobbyists, whatever the hell you want to call us, whiskey drinkers. I felt like they really needed something to generate some excitement, and this is insane. It's so good. Um, wasn't sure I was going to pick it up. I knew I wanted to try it, and then Adam Shelton sent me a sample. I think he was there at Maker's Mark when they dropped it. Maybe was kind enough to send me a sample, and just yeah, it's insanely good. Um, I think it's just starting to hit local. Here you go. Danny weighs in. This is the best Makers I've had ever by far. Um, yeah, I won't argue with you. There's a couple of the wood finishing series that I think are really good. Like maybe the BRT two, which was that the one that was like really butterscotchy. I really like that one. Um, but yeah, I think this is definitely more exciting. It's got more going on, and I won't argue with you if you tell me that this is the best Makers product ever. Bad X bourbon, what's going on? My Canada live stream in Italy. All right, so Bad X, how old is your kid? I'm curious. And does he help you with the channel, or is it just like a random thing that you guys did? The Star Hill had a pronounced oak note that I loved. To me, there was a lot of like I want to say I described it as like melted candy bar notes. Like I had a nice sweetness, a lot of nice chocolate notes to it. Good oak. I don't always. I want to describe this. For wheaters, they do tend to be a little sweeter to me, and I know this is like all wheat, but it wasn't overly sweet. It was just right somehow. All right, so cracking the old Fitz bottled and bond. Okay, so you got to look at the bottle because that's kind of what's generating the hype. Mine did not come with the fancy velvet bag that I don't really know what you do with anyway. Um, kind of seems like wow, that was a nice cork pop though. It kind of seemed to me like with the old Fitz bottle and bond that this was like going to be the new Blanton's because it was the hype bottle. It's probably not exceptional, decent age statement, but not crazy. People want it because oh, wow, look at the bottle, look at the presentation. It's got the cool cork topper. It's got it's the fancy new bottle, so it's hype, right? Um, so this hit local stores here within the last 3 weeks, I would say. Scooped up, the local stores were charging $100. I found one local, and it's this guy around the corner from me, and he wanted $120. So I laughed, walked out. I probably won't shop there again. So it's store owners like you, buddy, that uh, make me rely on out-of-state friends or the internet. So I don't know if anybody bought that for 120. If you did, hope you love it. Let's see. He's 24, a firefighter in the Air Force stationed in Italy. Dang, that's impressive. And you had him on a stream or a video? I'll have to check that out. That sounds really cool. Bad Axe. Yeah, so went great. Was it a video or a stream? 'Cause I want to go watch that when I'm done. Oh, is it live? Tim Cornette, what's going on, dude? All right, let's pour up the Old Fitz Bottle and Bond, the height bottle. Well, a fresh Glen here, or fresh glass. All right, first thing I noticed is that it's really light, like really light. All right, so the stats on this, obviously 7 years, 100 proof. Mash bill is the same as larceny, right? Like the exact same mash bill. Now larceny, what do they call it? Larceny small batch is the $30 bottle. It's like what, 92 proof or something, or 90 proof. It sells for about 30 bucks. Don't think it has any kind of an age statement, but that's the same mash bill, same whiskey. This is just cut to 100 instead of 90 or 92, and it's got the 7-year age statement. So other than that, it should be very similar to small batch larceny, right? On a stream at 11 here. Oh, 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Aren't you on the West Coast too, Bad X? So that would have been like 8 o'clock a.m. my time. He's 9 hours in the future, so he had to get some shut eye. Well, you know what? I'll have to go check that out just for the heck of it. That sounds cool. It's good for MSRP. Okay, so yeah, everything tastes better at MSRP, right? All right, so this is super light. It does have a nice nose. It's like doesn't feel overly complex. It's just like melted caramel, but maybe vanilla, like your traditional notes, but be a creamy note to it, like a creamy quality to it. Yeah, no complaints. I mean, it smells very pleasant. Heaven Hill Wheated Mash Bill is same across Larceny, Bernheim, and Old Fitz. Really, I didn't know Bernheim was in there as well. For some reason, I identified Bernheim as a wheat whiskey. Am I wrong? Oh, I haven't had it maybe once or twice. As far as the palate goes on the Old Fitz here, it's pretty good. I mean, I have no complaints on this one at all. It's not overly complex, but I guess for what your I guess it depends on what your expectations are. Okay, so if the intention here is that this is going to be a shelf product for 60 bucks, carries a nice age statement. I don't have any, there's no objectionable notes here. It's not, it's just like a good, well-rounded bourbon. I mean, it's finish is short. It doesn't feel overly viscous or thin. It's kind of like right in the middle. It's kind of like right in the middle as far as all of the qualities go. I mean, it's not too much this or too much that. It's just kind of a little bit of everything, kind of like a fastball, like right down the middle. Which is it? You can find it for 60 bucks. It's hard for me to say it's not a good bottle, but if you paid upwards of 100 bucks, or with this asshole around the corner one at 120, then it's not that good. Angry Mac. I think Bernheim is a wheat whiskey. That's what I was thinking too. I know I've got one somewhere. Welcome to the stream, Angry Mac. I don't know if I've seen you here before. I know that I follow you on Instagram, so welcome here, buddy. Is it worth spending 50 to 60? Sounds like I would say this is a good $60 bottle. It's not going to weigh you down. It doesn't linger. It's not going to blow you away, but it's hard to find a flaw in it. Kids call that mid. No, it's better than mid. Better than mid. I would say it's good. Good to quite good. Yeah, I mean, if you can find this without having to hunt, if it's sitting there on the shelf and it's 60 bucks, it's a good bottle. I'm trying to think of what I would compare it to. Okay, it's 60 bucks. Other good $60 bottles for me. I mean, I do like the Barrel Foundation. That's 100 proof, and it's got whiskey in there that's older than 7, but some that's not. I think it's got a 5-year age statement, so it's got some younger stuff. It's a pretty good comparison. And that's a $50 bottle. Maybe it's 60. I think it's $50 bottle. Um, you're getting a legacy distillery. Yeah, again, I don't have any gripes about it. I think my inclination was I didn't want to like it because of the hype and the presentation and how the stores were overcharging for it, but it's a good bourbon. It is, and I won't tell you otherwise. Fair at 60 is good to know. Yeah. This one, OF7, I did actually try, and you're dead on. It's a good retail bottle. Yeah, I think, Gary, once the hype kind of, the newness dies down, I don't think that the excitement on this one is really gonna stick around. I mean, the novelty of the bottle and what do they call it? A dust bag? I guess I don't really get too much. I don't understand the point of that other than presentation. But once the newness and the novelty wears off, I don't think that this is going to be something that's really in too high of a demand. Like you think it's something that you should be able to find. Um, the barrel bottle is very good buy. Yeah, I really like the double barrel foundation. That's one of the better things I've had this year for sure. What's Marty? Maker's 46 cask strength. Marty, I've got one of those from 23 and I didn't love it. And I think there were a couple different batches that year. And I remember watching reviews for, a bunch of different channels and people either loved it or hated it. And it seemed like it might have aligned with the different batches for that particular year. The one that I've got, I'll have to look at the label again, but I did not like it too much at all. But a lot of people that I trust, like Danny here, Maker's 46 cask strength is great. The one I got, I don't love, but it's probably a different batch. People are so excited to get this at a decent price. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the irony here, right? Angry Mac is that everybody wants it at that fair price, so that drives up the price. I dig the Maker's 46 cask strength. I will say that the Maker's cask strength for what, 40-ish dollars is a really good buy, especially if you're kind of newer into whiskey or just maybe kind of climbing up that ladder in terms of your preference being like the 90-ish to 100 to maybe stepping it up to that like that 108 to 112 range or whatever it is. I think that's a good bargain. The 46 cask strength on paper seems like a good bargain as well. It just hadn't really hit the spot for me. So it's not something I've gone back to. But again, a lot of the feedback that I get from others tells me otherwise, tells me that I'm wrong. I'm full of shit. It's possible. It's probable. CJP, whiskey no, Rita Makers. You know what? Maybe I'll have to go back to that one and see how it is. But it's been sitting on my shelf probably 80% full for the last 2+ years. One of the 23 batches I had was really grassy. The other one I got after was much better. That might have. I'm trying to remember why I didn't like it. I mean, maybe it was like kind of like a dairy note that just didn't sit well, like maybe a sour chocolate or something. I'll have to go back to that, but that maybe it was grassy. I don't remember. It's been a couple of years. I haven't seen Maker CJP. What state are you in, CJP? So that's one that I do see pretty regularly. All right, so the verdict on the Old Fit 7, it's good. Yeah, Makers, it seems, kind of going back to barrel and the Dickel notes, it's just really objectionable to some people. And if you get it, you get it, and you can't stand it. I think Makers has like maybe kind of almost like a dairy quality to it that if you get, it's just not your jam. Oregon, okay. All right. Is Oregon the one with the crazy liquor tax, or is that Washington? And I'm trying to think. Troy Baker was telling me about this. They got some insane tax on booze out that way. So maybe he goes to Oregon and buys most of his bottles. I'm trying to remember. Barbara Dan, I really liked the Maker's Keepers. Which one is that? Maker's Keepers. Losers Weepers? All right. I think of these three so far, my favorite's the Traverse City. You call me a homer, but I think that 10-year MGP is the backbone to that bottle. It's pretty well rounded, even though it's got actual cherries in it. It does feel like the best bourbon somehow. Newest wood finishing. Okay, I know what you mean. Like there's what was there, like the Keepers release, the Heart release, and see, I already lost track of what they were doing with their wood finishing. I know that Danny said he liked it. There you go. Okay, Washington State sin tax is horrible. When added to regular sales tax, it makes it over 20%. Yeah, I think that's what Troy was telling me. He says he's got to go out of state to get bottles because of that tax. That's insane. Traverse City is very good. Haven't had many, but all really solid. Angry Mac, what state are you in? I'm trying to remember. Are you on the East Coast? Sugar Kitty, Washington, worst tax, but like Oregon is second, really? It's harsh over there on the West Coast. All right. New York. I'm trying to think of what I've liked out of New York. Is that Kings County? Something out of New York that I really liked. Comes in like an apothecary's type bottle, and the label is really basic, and it looks like it's like a typewriter on it. I think it's Kings County, right? Kings County is killer. Yeah, that's it. It's really high proof. It's like bourbon concentrate. It was one that I think I got through the Mash and Journey Club a couple of years ago. Maybe it was last year. Really good. The darker, the better. Yeah, it's really dark. It's like coffee type dark. All right. All right. So fresh crack of the Star Hill Farm. Like I said, I did have a sample a few weeks ago, which I absolutely loved, and was fortunate enough to get a bottle from a buddy out of state. Cheers, Toby. Thank you. Where he got it for MSRP, which I think is $99. I got a bit of feedback on the video I posted about this one, where people were seeing prices a bit higher, like 120, 140, maybe even 150 or 160. Like almost looked like it was climbing up to 200. So the demand on this Star Hill Farm it's up there. I mean, I don't really have a indicator of what secondary is, other than what I'm told by a few others. I mean, I don't know what sites people go on to track what this bottle's trading at secondary. I don't really get into that, but from what I've heard, this one is getting up to the $200 range. Tell me if I'm wrong, or if you're one of those that does follow secondary markets. Tell me where this one is. We've got Richie Z. What's going on, Richie? I'm gathering Richie's probably just getting out of work. Right, Richie? You're way out on the West Coast. All right. Star Hill Farm. I'm guessing this is going to be the front runner of these four here tonight. CJP. Star Hill Farm. Yeah, 100% CJP. If you can find it at or around $100, and you're looking for one of the best releases, at least so far this year, absolutely track this one down. I have a feeling this one will kind of be on a lot of those lists at the end of the year. Best of. It's that it really is that good. All right, haven't seen it in New York. Okay, so uh, I think this was actually from Kentucky, so they are probably amongst the first to get it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it's just the right amount of sweet, like a little chocolate, a little vanilla, maybe like a little nougat. It just reminds me of like a candy bar. Good oak presence. It's just really well balanced. Yeah, that's so nice. I mean, that first pour is actually really. It feels lighter on the finish than I remember, but maybe it could be because it's the neck pour, whatever. A little bit of kick on the end, but it's not quite what I remember. So I'm guessing that's going to come with the next successive sips here. Let's see. What's currently on your short list for bourbon of the year 2025? Top Jimmy. Funny you should ask. We should actually have a video dropping tomorrow, probably night, and I think it's my top 7 or top 6. It's either top 6 or top 7 whiskeys of 2025 so far. So I can tell you, spoiler alert, this is on that list. But watch top 7. There you go. I think Tyler's actually finishing the editing on that video while we're streaming here. So yeah, tune in and you'll have my answer there. And what's interesting is, I mean, we're almost exactly halfway through the year, so it seemed like the right time to put out a video like that. Well, sometimes it's hard to think of ideas for content, even though I'm not one of these channels that posts a zillion videos. Sometimes it's a challenge to think of something that's interesting. Let's see, Tom, hold up your glass so we can see. Is that better? Or did you want to see the bottle? Yeah. It's dark. It's not quite as dark as the cherry, which again has actual cherry in it, but it's got some darkness to it. Well, then now I'm going to do top 8. And Gary, you can probably do that and get it out before the end of the stream, right? Gary, the world's fastest whiskey channel in terms of editing and getting out content when he wants to. See the color. It looks a little lighter in the glass, probably due to the lights right here. But the bottle, I mean, it's a decently dark product here. An independent Joe in the house. What's going on, dude? Cheers, Joe. I see that Gary's on top of the game. Yeah, I mean, just without getting too technical as far as what the notes are, you take a whiff of this and you take that first sip, it reminds you of why you like whiskey, right? I mean, it's got all of the things. Yeah, the back end does kind of build as you take that second and third successive sip. Just a fantastic pour here. Yeah, this would probably be one that not only should you find one or search one out, if you can find a backup, it's probably that good. I don't know if it's going to be something that is going to be a staple in their lineup. It looked or sounded like it was more on the scale of a limited release. Hopefully that's not the case, and maybe they were just kind of gauging what the feedback or the response would be on this one. But I think that it's been overwhelmingly positive. I don't think I've seen or heard a bad review on this one. I'm leaving now to go watch the WWE. Be back in a second. Yeah, we'll see in about 40 seconds, give or take. Um, yeah, I'll tell you what, you guys in chat that are still here, what's been your favorite bottle or release of 2025? I'm curious to see what everybody else has to say. Um, this is certainly going to be one of them for me. When you watch my video, I think there's going to be a few that are pretty common across like whiskey channels, but then there's going to be a couple, two or three that are probably not. It might just be unique to me. So I think that's, I'm a little bit quirky in terms of things I like. I do tend to like more things than I dislike. I'll do, I got into Scotch first. So Scotch is like a wide range of, flavor profiles. There's not too many bourbon profiles that I find objectionable. There's just some that I think are better than others. So yeah, I think that'll be an interesting video. So hopefully Tyler's almost done with that. We can get it up tomorrow night. Here you go, Sugar Kitty. So far for 2025, Driftless Rye Fruity Pebbles from Mash and Journey. That one, did I get that one? I love the Driftless picks from Mash and Journey. I've gotten a few of them for the last couple years. I don't know if I got the Fruity Pebbles though. That's a rye. I think I went with the bourbon. Forget what it's called. But as far as the ones that I picked, I don't think I picked any group picks. So these were mostly. So I'm trying to think. I think they're all releases of varying reach. Like some might just be to Michigan or their surrounding states. Some are the bigger bottles, like the Star Hill Farm. Bardstown Cathedral is pretty damn good. You know what? That one really sounded awesome. And I remember when that one dropped, it was interesting because one of my friends was down there and he's like, hey, I'm down in he was in Louisville. Because Bardstown has a location in Louisville and Bardstown, right, Gary? I think he was down in Louisville. He said, what should I be looking for? And I'm like, I think they're dropping this cathedral, which sounds just insane. Go there and see if you can get that. And so he went there, and I think he just missed the release. So way it goes, right? Because I think that one, did they only sell 375s of that one, Gary? So they had more to go around, but even then it was still pretty limited. But yeah, that one sounded pretty awesome. And look, a lot of the bigger channels I think got samples of that. And I was jealous for sure when I saw, some of the other people posting the videos. Like that one sounds like something I'd really like. Let's see. Richie Z, my latest bottle, Dark Arts, finished in something French oak staves. Richie, I took French in high school and even a little bit in college, and I'm sure I would still butcher that. But so that's just a particular type of French oak. It sounds like that sounds pretty good. One of my favorites was from Circle City. It was their 50-50 blend, half Wild Turkey and half Heaven Hill. Call it Heavenly Turkey. Circle City is one that I have not tried. I have seen it talked about in other groups or other channels, maybe. I want to say Brandon at Whiskey Weather has talked about that one a bit. Maybe he did a pick. I'd have to go back and look, but I want to say it's something that he's mentioned, and I think I've asked him about it on occasion as well. But it sounds like they do some really interesting stuff at Circle City. Walleye Run 10-year single malt. Okay. Now, the Walleye Run is a really interesting line. I think it's all of their malted products, which is their malted rye, their malted single malt, and then there's actually a malted wheat whiskey in that lineup as well, which I've not seen anywhere. I have tried that that 10-year single malt. Josh, I think I actually tried it at New Holland when we were there last month. And I think it's really good. I love that whole lineup. And that 10-year single malt is a really nice bottle. And I'll probably pick that one up at some point here before the end of the year. Are those batched, Josh? Like, is there a 24 release and a 25 release, or is it just something that came out? I'm trying to think if it's something that is unique to 2025 or not. Because if it is, I think that would be something that would be interesting to see if it would crack like a best of the year type lineup for me. Travis Robeson, Horse Soldier 10-year, 135 proof picks, Evernorth Rhino, Yellow's Weeder from Evernorth. Okay, so you've tried the Weeder from Evernorth, Travis. Did you pick up some bottles for the drop? Yeah, I'm assuming you must have got it. I could probably guess where you got the sample. That's awesome. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's actually a wheated bourbon that came from Southern Distilling in North Carolina. Something I had no experience with. And when we were tasting through these barrels, we have no idea what it is. We did everything blind. I just remember thinking, wow, this is really good. It's got like a really nice pronounced like cola or root beer quality to it. There was like some butterscotch. It just had some really unique notes that I love. And I remember looking at Adam Shelton. I'm like, dude, this one is really good. Because there were some amazing barrels that we tasted through that day, Travis. But I remember that one in particular, the first go around, and just being blown away. Let's see. You also said a Frey Ranch Farm Strength Uncut, not counting Evernorth releases. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, the Evernorth releases that would be like their widespread stuff, like the Night Stalker or the Spirit Walker would be ones that I would consider to be in play because they're not single barrels, they're blends. So there may or may not be an Evernorth release on my best of video that's coming out tomorrow. Horse Soldier, Travis, is Horse Soldier, is that sourced? I'm trying to. I don't know that I've had one. I'm trying to think of what that is. Help me out. Looks like I got a little bit behind here. I loved Mint Caramel Dream. Mexican chocolate. Okay. So you're referring to the Driftless Glen, the donuts theme releases, right, Sugar Kitty? My favorite one was, it was like, I think he called it like a raspberry something. It was a bourbon, but it had like a raspberry donut quality to it. I think it was from 2023. And that one I think is outstanding. And then there was the Kenosha Kicker from last year, which I really liked as well. So that's, there are certain single barrel picks that, groups will do every year. And some you get a little bit tired of, but then there's others that you look forward to every year. And I think Driftless Glen is in that category for me where I'm looking forward to it every year. Particularly the bourbon. The rye that I got with the first go round was that like mojito something or other. Didn't love it. I like the bourbon way better. So when the next year rolled around, I just went with the bourbon, and I think that's what I did again this year. Just went with the bourbons. Old Hamer 10-year. It's from West Fork Whiskey in Indiana. It's the MGP Light Whiskey mash bill as a okay. Interesting. Okay. Are you in Indiana, Girth? Okay. Just trying to see. Mexican chocolate spice is amazing. Yeah, I don't think of the one that I got. I think the one that I got this year is like Freddy's. Is that something that sounds right? Sugar Kitty? Mint caramel. You see, okay, so the mint caramel, I'll tell you this. When I'm drinking a rye, one of the notes that I don't love is mint. If it's very subtle and it's just like a kiss of mint, I don't mind it so much. But if it's overly minty, to me, it translates into like toothpaste, and I don't like it at all. Like Angel's Envy, to me, is like toothpaste. The cask strength Still Austin, and I love Still Austin as a brand. I love their bourbons, but their cask strength rye to me translates as uber minty, and I don't enjoy it. From Indiana, so I get okay, that tracks. Okay, excellent. Good to know, Ger. And that is called Old Hamer 10-year. Okay, all right. I know I've heard of that one. Again, I probably heard it through another channel or something, but it's certainly a brand I've heard of, but not necessarily seen or tried. All right, sales of dark arts. Actually, that's the cognac better than okay. Amberana, yeah, that's something that had like a real short lifespan as far as my interest goes. What I've heard, the best so far is JD14, PFG, and Makers Star Hill Farm. Danny, you might be on the right track as far as where my video is going to go tomorrow. Mojito is about the same as Mexican Spice. Okay, so yeah, the Mojito, I did not love that one. And Mojito, it's got a little mint in it, and that's one of those notes that I do dislike is mint. Again, there's people that dig that mint note in rye. I'm not one of them. King's Family Distillery Ryconic. What is Ryconic? Okay, is it a rye or is it some variation of something different? That sounds interesting. Tell me more about that one, Angry Mac. Okay, Tim Cornet. Hey, okay, so Tim's a Michigan guy. Tim, what's your favorite whiskey so far this year? You tell me. We probably have access to a lot of the same stuff. I think you're referring to the dark art stuff, the Amberana's last. Is that right? I drink many craft stuff. Same. Artfully Bourbon. Cheers, Bourbon. Cheers to all in chat. Cheers to you, Artfully Bourbon, Scott. We're talking about our favorites so far, 2025. And I think that this Star Hill Farm from Maker's Mark is going to be on a lot of the lists that we end up seeing this year. Tell me your favorite pour so far this year that you've had, Scott. Mint Caramel was, oh, wow. Okay, that's 2022. Southern Star. Okay, is Southern Star another name for Southern Distillery or Southern Distilling in North Carolina? Because when I went to their website, I want to say that they also had some bourbons that they put out under their label. And I want to say it was maybe Southern Star. Am I wrong? Probably. Canadian Chris, is the Traverse City Whiskey Company Cherry Heritage the barrel strength yearly offering? Yes. Yes, it is. Chris, I was actually just there this past weekend. This is the 10-year MGP with Montmorency cherries. Yes. And it's better than last year's if you had that one or if you were curious. And welcome to the stream, Canadian Chris. I don't know that I've seen your name in here before, so certainly good to see you. And yeah, probably my second favorite of this lineup here tonight is that Traverse City. The first being the Maker's Mark. Least favorite is going to be that Barrel 37, unfortunately. Driftless Donuts. Yeah, the raspberry. Yeah, the raspberry bourbon from, was that 23 Sugar Kitty, or was that 22? That one is fantastic, or was fantastic. I think I still got a little bit of that one left. You know what's interesting is I don't finish very many bottles. Like maybe less than a handful every year. Like I don't know if that's good or bad or what. What it means though is that a lot of bottles accumulate on my shelves. Um, so I can go back to them. That's good. Some of them might be not quite as good as they were, when I cracked them because there's a bit of oxidation or what have you. But I don't tend to finish too many bottles. Um, so I do still have some of that one left. I will go back to it, just like we were talking about that Maker's 46 cask strength. I'll go back to that one as well and try to remember why I didn't like it. Hey, you know what? Maybe it's changed. Maybe it's gotten better for the aging it's done here on my shelf in my basement. Did you ever have the Iceman Woodenville pick? You know what? Yes. And if I'm being honest, well, I've purchased a lot of the Mash and Journey picks over the last 3 years. I want to say 22 July or June is when I joined. So 23, 22, 24. I bought a lot. They put out a ton of picks. And I would credit that particular group with exposing us that don't have a lot of, we don't have access to all of the brands here in Michigan. So not only do we not have access, we don't know what they are. So Jason and Scott are so good at finding nationwide what's good, bringing it to the group, and exposing us to it. And I've gotten to try and get into so many brands because of those guys' group, Mash and Journey. Woodenville, the only one that I've purchased from them, I think it's that Iceman pick from 23, and I don't like it. So it's kind of put me to that point where I don't really want anything from Woodenville. Because if I take it that if Scott and Jason picked it out, it's the best that they have to offer. And if that's the best Woodenville has to offer and I don't like it, it's just not a brand that's going to be for me. So yes, I do have that pick. It's probably my least favorite Mash and Journey pick that I can think of. And usually I love them. I certainly seek them out. I'm looking forward to a bunch more, but that particular one I do not love, and I'm not a Woodenville fan. Kind of went off on a tangent there, Sugar Kitty. Where were we going with that? Is that something that you like, something that you hate, or what? Did you ever have the first Iceman? I didn't mean to go that far down that rabbit hole. Tell me where you were going with that one. I'm sorry. It's minty. It's usually a hard exit stage left for me. Yeah, exactly, Travis. That's just, if I get that note, it tends to be all consuming. Like it's all I can focus on, and it's all I can taste, and I'm out. It's a double oak rye. Cabernet, cheers. Ryconic 95% rye blended from 2 different barrels. Okay, so it's a rye. It's a high rye. All right, interesting. That's a good question. I have OCD. I think I'm with you there a little bit, Tim. The rye pick I helped 21090 is pretty damn good. I got that one, and I agree with you. That's the cherry pie pick that those guys did. It's fantastic. I think that a lot of the guys at Evernorth get such good barrels. I hate to sound like such a homer, but they really do. And that rye, Tim, it's fantastic. Paragon is the weeder by Southern Star. Southern Distillery is something else. Okay, so yeah, it's a brand that I'm new to. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what exactly they are. Evernorth was the 21090. Yeah, it's Tim. It's killer. It really is. Great people. I was in the phone. Okay. All right, here we go. Artfully Bourbon. Off the top of my head, 2025's favorites so far are the Keeper's release. So that's the Maker's Mark. And somebody else was talking about that just a few moments ago. or the rare character RCLR Batch 1. That's around the one that I see with the red wax. Is that the one? What exactly is that, Scott? The only rare character bottle that I've ever purchased was an ADHD pick from probably about 3 years ago. That's a 95.5. I think it's MGP, but that's good. All right, Tom, Southern Star, I want, but I don't think it's in Cali. Neither is 15 star. Yeah, all of these stars are confusing to me, Richie. Um, I don't know if it's a generic type title or if I'm just, I'm old and there's too much stored in the hard drive up top and I can't figure out what those things are. But Southern Star is 15 stars to me. I've heard of them. I don't know one from the other or what they are. Uh, no room in the hard drive for those up top. All right. In general, I prefer the driftless rye, but the raspberry bourbon was a real winner. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm just on the opposite side there. I love the driftless bourbons. Whiskey Shaman, my favorite so far of 2025. Lost Lantern, Rich Grain Distilling, Hazmat Ghost Distillery. Freaking hell, it's amazing. Randall, you get some interesting stuff. And I know I've still got some samples that you sent me that I haven't gotten into. I want to say a few of them are maybe scotches, but yeah, you are. I think that you're like me in the sense that your tastes are just all over the place, right? So I will get to those, and I can't wait because I'm sure that they're all interesting in their own way. But I think you are kind of in the same boat as me, or on the same wavelength as me in terms of we like a pretty wide range of whiskey. Hey, Tom Morrow, what's going on, dude? Hey, Tom, I think I'm finally caught up here. Oh no, I guess I'm not. I have the Iceman, and it's definitely different. Okay, that's okay. Being a little diplomatic, I just, you know what? I don't like it, and I'm not afraid to say it. I like so many of the whiskeys that those guys have put out for us over the years. That's just not one of them, unfortunately. All right. My favorite so far this year was a store pick of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Toasted 10-year. I've not had any of the Elijah Craig Toasted at Barrel Proof. The only one I had was a few years ago, and it was the Elijah Craig Toasted at the lower proof, like the 94 proof, I think. And I did not like that one. So I'm curious to see how but this was probably 3-4 years ago. I'm curious to see how a 10-year toasted at that proof point would fare. It really sounds good. Tom, will I see you in September? Tom Morrow, folks, he's the dude with Limestone Farms. And I know they are the sponsor for Bourbon on the Banks. So if that's an event that you're looking forward to or considering, Tom will be happy to tell you all about it, as I think his brand there is the main sponsor. Is that right, Tom? Am I saying that right? One of the sponsors or the main sponsor? Tom will tell you. All right. The Iceman, it was 2023. It was more menthol. Man, you know what? It's been so long since I've gone back to it, Sugar Kitty, that I can't remember what it was I didn't like. I just remember I didn't like it. It's I don't think I've gone back to it since 2023. The schedule just got a whole lot busier. Tom is out there hustling, guys. Cheers, Tom. There's Green River. All right, I'll tell you what, Green River. I think off the rip, I wasn't a huge fan of the Green River Foolproof, but I came around on it as it opened up a bit. And some of the groups that I'm in, it seems like a lot of the groups that I'm in have done a Green River, barrel proof pick. And it's some of the best stuff that's out there. And it's not like it's overly aged or anything. It just seems to be hitting really well at 6 years, at 7 years, and you know the picks are usually priced really fairly. I think that, you know, as far as value goes in terms of, you know, age and proof and experience, Green River picks are hard to beat right now. Let's see. Haunted Hazmat is great. The rare characters are distilled in Indiana and Kentucky, undisclosed, but they're supposed to be a blend of the best barrels you find. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I gathered. Is it's sourced from a few different places, and then they're blended, uh, right? Or are they just single barrels? Yeah, I don't know. It's a brand that I see people go bonkers for, but I've not gone down that rabbit hole. I love exploring different and unique whiskeys. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, Randall. You know, I'm not afraid of Scotch. I'm not afraid of Texas stuff. Whereas you know, some are just like, ah, Scotch. I don't want anything to do with it. You know, I don't want anything to do with Texas. I don't want anything to do with Isle. You know what I mean? Don't close yourself off. Don't be so close minded. There's stuff out there that if you say that you don't like Scotch but you like whiskey, that just means you haven't tried the right Scotch for you. It's out there. I'm telling you. Just became the national sales director for Limestone Farms. We're the title sponsor. So, folks, throw some respect on Tom Morrow's name. Tom, I'm giving you a little bit of a hard time, but it's good natured ribbing. Whatever title they've bestowed on you, you've more than earned, and I mean that. Let's see. Congrats, Tom. Yeah, exactly. Congrats, Tom. If I didn't say that, I'm going to see Pantera next month. I want to meet up when I head down there. We should set something up. I'll be honest. I don't. I know what Pantera is. Are they playing here in Michigan, like Pine Knob or LCA or? Just reach out. We'll see what we can figure out. Tom, did you move down to Kentucky, by the way? Or are you still up here in Michigan floating around? E1 once if Travis throwing out the digits. I don't know what you're referring to at this point. I'm trying to catch up in the chat. God, I'm still behind. All right. I'm not a huge Scotch fan, but give me an ultra aged cask strength. Just give me the top shelf stuff, right, Gary? $500 to $1,000 a bottle. Gary, have you tried a dark arts expression from Bruichladdich, or like a really high age? I don't know if you like the Isla stuff, but like a really high age Lefroy or Balvenie. There's some amazing Scotch out there, but yeah, it can get pricey. You know, I don't buy a lot of Scotch anymore, but I don't know how the prices have fluctuated over the last year or so with tariffs and all this other shit. But um, yeah, give me a high age, expensive Scotch, and you know, even if you're just a bourbon dude, there's a Scotch out there yeah, there you go, Richie. That's the one I'm talking about. Um, I've not tried a black art. Yeah, did I say black arts or did I say dark arts? Richie, you knew what I meant, right? I've not tried a black. Okay, yeah. So yeah, and I'm finally caught up. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So it's the you know, Bruichladdich, you know, they have their flagship is the classic Laddie or classic Lottie, whatever. Comes in like a teal bottle. You can't miss it on a shelf. It's like matte teal. And then their black arts is like their highest age stuff is like 25 to 30-year blends. And it's like a matte black. It's got like a pentagram on it, I think, Richie. You meant black art. Yeah, see, Richie knows what I mean. Um, dark art. Dark art is the bourbon in Kentucky that does the blends. Black art is the Bruichladdich. That's what I was talking about. Both great in their own right, but yeah, you want to try something special, go for a Bruichladdich black art. Black art with the pentagram. That's the one, Richie. And it's in Gary's price range. It's usually north of $5. Not quite $1,000, but north of $5 for sure. I've tried a couple of them. Probably the best scotches I've tried. Trying to think of what I want to go to next. Do I want to try that Maker's Mark 46 cask strength, or that the Driftless Glen Raspberry? Something I haven't gone back. Maybe the Woodinville. I don't know. Something that I didn't love that maybe I'd go back to and see if it's changed for me. Here you go. I did get to try a 37-year cask strength Linkwood distilled in 1978. I would drink that again anytime. Right, is that a Scotch, Gary, or what is that? Linkwood. Black Art, 4.1, 1990, 23 years, one of the best scotches ever. I want to say one of the ones that I tried was, Marty sent me a sample of last year. It was fantastic. And then I know I've had one other one. I don't know which particular vintage it was, Richie, but it was absolutely fantastic. And I think that's like the cream of the crop that they put together. Here you go, Whiskey Shaman. He knows. Love me some Black Art. My 8.1 was top 5 best all time. Okay, that makes sense for sure. All right, so what do I want to go to here? Do I want to try that Woodinville, or do I want to go for the Maker's Mark 46? Oh, somebody point me in the right directions. The teal bottles are the Bruichladdich 18-year. No, there's actually the classic laddie is in a teal bottle as well. I think Sugar Kitty, the 18-year, is in like a narrower, taller bottle. Does that sound right? I think the classic laddie bottle is the same size and shape as the Black Arts. It's just teal instead of black. Woodinville. All right, Tim. You know what? Fair enough. And as I've kind of said a lot of negative things about it. You know what? I'll go back to it. Maybe it's changed. Maybe I've changed. I don't know, but let's go back to that one. Just give me a moment. I'll go find it. I think I know right where it is here, but give me just a second. All right. Yeah, see, I knew right where it was. Just haven't opened it in a minute. All right, so this is the Mash and Journey Keg and Bottle. And this is the, I know, it doesn't say on the bottle specifically, Tim, but if I recall, weren't there 2 of these that dropped simultaneously? One was like the Iceman, and one was like, maybe was it like the Maverick? Probably, I'm guessing, if we were going with the Top Gun theme. This one doesn't say on the bottle which one it is, but I know that I went with the Iceman over the whatever the other one was. I think it was Maverick. So there's a little bit more, or well, actually, there's a little bit less of this than I remember. I probably sampled it out to some buddies to see if they liked it or not. But again, I am 99% sure this is the Iceman. This is barrel number 7040, Tim. 11706 proof. That's all right. Yes, 2 drop, 1 Scott liked, and 1 Jason picked. Yeah, was Scott's the Iceman, if I remember. All right. I've got Maverick 2. All right, so what does he say, Sugar Kitty? You can ride my tail anytime. Something super homoerotic. All right. Tim Cornet says, dang it, I have the Maverick. Okay, you know what? Maybe I screwed up and maybe I should have got the Maverick. Yeah, Scott was the Iceman, Jason was Maverick on that one, and maybe I blame Scott for this one, but doesn't smell like really strong one way or the other. How are we doing on entries, Tyler, on the giveaway here? Take a quick peek. We'll get spinning here in just a little bit. All right. Okay. Where are we on time? We are at 9:15. Okay. We are ready whenever. Okay, why don't you got the wheel set up, Ty? Why don't we say another 5 minutes for entries? So cut off at 9:20, and then we can spin here after 9:20. And all right, so this is the Woodinville Maverick. No, this is a Woodinville Iceman from again 2023, and something I have not gone back to in at least 2 years. From what you say about your profile, you would like Maverick much more than Iceman. Okay, well, on some of those picks, you're like, there's one and then there's the other, and you're not going to get both. Because if you got both every time, you're going to run out of room in your house to store all the bottles. Plus, you're going to go broke. But so some of these that you've not heard of, you're kind of reading the notes, and you're trying to make an informed guess as far as which one am I going to like better. And I remember reading the notes on the Iceman versus the Maverick and thinking, okay, well, you know what? Based on what I think I like, I think I'm going to go for the Iceman. And it just didn't really do it for me. So, all right. So there is something like tannic or astringent, I guess is how I would describe it. I mean, there's some nice toffee notes in there, but there is something in there that I don't love, and it's like tannic or astringent. I think maybe more astringent. How is that water? I'm staying hydrated, dear. Iceman 1 is 122. This is actually 117. All right. All right, so let's just go with that then. All right. Yeah, there's something astringent on the nose that is kind of hopping out of the glass into my nostrils here. All right, so Richie, I think you might be hitting it on the head here. Woodinville's profile is kind of an acquired taste. I want to say at some point I was at a restaurant, and Woodinville has like their standard releases. I want to say like they're in the 90s, like maybe a 90 proof bourbon or 90 proof rye. And I want to say I had a pour at a restaurant with dinner at some point, and it was fine. As far as like a 90 proof bourbon goes, um, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. It was fine. This, yeah, the nose. I just don't like the nose. And yeah, I mean, on the palate, to me, there is like an astringent, like firm, jagged quality. I don't. It doesn't agree with me. Is how I would put it. I don't think I'm enjoying this one any more than I did when I first had it. It's just not my jam, and you know what? That happens. There's an 8-year limited edition that's supposed to be awesome. I want to say Troy Baker sent me a sample of some Woodinville, and I think it was an 8-year. It might have been 100 proof. Does that sound right? And it was pretty darn good. So at 8 years and 100 proof, I did like it. I definitely liked it a lot better than this. The age on this one is, I must be missing it. Just says 117.06 proof. So I don't know the age on this one, which is kind of unusual. Usually I would. But the 8-year Hunter Proofer that I tried that Troy sent me earlier this year, I did like that. Um, Kind of farmy. Yeah, it's probably a pretty good descriptor, actually. Loved Woodinville until I put it in a blind. Then all I could taste was fresh cut grass. Um, there's definitely something there that I don't love, Kyle. And for you, it's fresh cut grass. For me, it's just like an astringent something that I just Corvette Trey. What's going on, buddy? Hey, yeah, very good to see you, man. Uh, Jagged. There's a younger off note for some. It's acetone. That tracks sugar like with the astringency that I'm getting. Um, Acetone. Some air in the glass helps a lot. I mean, there's a decent amount of air in the bottle at this point. All right, so there's Tyler ending the giveaways. We'll spin the wheel here momentarily, but cut that off. Corvette Trey, Corvette Trey. Everybody's happy to see Corvette Trey. Hey, me too, man. The Glenn going 25-year and Glenn Levitt 17 years single cast strength were also acceptable. I will say this, Gary. Glenn Goyne has a few different expressions, and I think that is a really good single malt, by my recollection. And I think it's something that is it's something like their flavor profile is something that is it's agreeable to a lot of different palates. I think that is a really good Scotch, Glengoyne. I think there's like a 12-year and a 15-year, or maybe it's a 12 and an 18, or maybe it's a 15 and an 18. I forget. But Glengoyne, I can tell you from my recollection, was a really well-rounded um, single malt that appealed to a lot of different palates, from my experience. For acetone, you really need to let it air out for a while in complete air. Okay, so maybe you're saying if I just leave this in the Glen, don't touch it for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, it might taste a little better than how it's tasting now. Is that what you're getting at? Uh, Glen going 21. Okay, yeah, Caesar's. I forget what the age statements were, Richie, but there's a few different ones that I've had, and that particular single malt I really did like. A number of different bottles are solid. Some are very sherry compared. See, I do enjoy the sherry finishes, so that kind of tracks. Both of those were single malts aged. Yeah, I think Gary is in the same ballpark with me. He likes the sherry stuff. It'll help for Woodinville, but not totally get rid of it. Swirling in the glass helps. Yeah, I mean, so here's my thoughts on that. If it doesn't taste good, pouring it out of the bottle into the glass, taking a couple of swirls, nosing it and sipping it. If that doesn't get it where it needs to be, then it's just not my jam, and that's okay. There's stuff out there that people like that I don't. There's stuff out there that I like that people don't. Um, but I appreciate the tip. I don't know if that's going to make me any more likely to go back to this one. If you enjoy sherry, Tamdu instead of Glengoyne. I've heard that, and I might have tried Tamdu at some point. Sherry bomb. Yeah. Yeah. See, I really enjoy I think one of my favorite scotches that I've got is a Balvenie sherry cask. Maybe it's a 14 or a 15-year. Maybe it's 8. Fuck, I don't know. It's one of those. It's really good. All right. Okay, let's do this. Tyler, we're all ready to go on the wheel. Do you want to bring that up on the screen here? All right. So why don't you go ahead, Tyler, and hit shuffle twice. And once you've done that, go ahead and give her a spin, baby buddy. All right, so we've got Elizabeth. Liz B. So you're gonna get some samples sent your way. Liz, I don't know that you've won here before, so send me your contact information at thebourbonjerk@gmail.com and I will get a flight together and sent your way. And thank you for getting in. So let's remove Liz and give her one more spin, Ty. Roger Reese. Roger, may the odds be ever in your favor, and it does seem like they are in your favor more often than not. Good for you. I appreciate you getting in, Roger, as always. And I don't know, man, that wheel just loves you, buddy. So I will put together flights of the four. You know what? If I can find enough sample bottles, I'll put this Woodenville on there too. Just in the interest of getting rid of this. But I will put flights together for the two of you and send them out your way. I've got a few to put together here for other giveaways that I've done. I swear I've been going through these sample bottles quicker than I can get them in. You know, it seems like you get a box at a time and it looks like it's a ton. But when you're doing like a flight or, you're putting together something like a blind for somebody on a future stream, it's like all of a sudden, boom, like the box is gone. So, I think my wife said we've got them on subscribe and save on Amazon. And I need to make sure that we've got, enough to get these out quickly here. If not, I'll get some ordered and we'll get them out. But Liz and Roger, I appreciate you guys getting in. I appreciate all you guys getting in. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me tonight on Thursday night, on Thirsty Thursday. The Woodenville White Elephant gift. Roger, I mean, it's something that maybe you like. Who's to say? I mean, Scott, I mean, somebody that we like and respect, we know his palate. He picked it out. So, it's good to somebody. It's just not translating to me. Maybe you'll like it. I don't know. A box of sample bottles. Like what? You only order one at a time. I don't even have a chat. Sugar Kitty, maybe I need to up my game, but I order the 30 packs. I think they come in 30 packs. And it seems like it's a lot. And then all of a sudden, you do 2 streams and you're like, oh my God, I'm like 4 short all of a sudden. So yeah, maybe I need to order bigger ones. If it was Iceman, I would take that in a newer minute. Sugar Kitty, I tell you what, you send me your contact information. I will send you a flight or some samples. I'll send you something. You're always in here. You support the channel. I appreciate you. And you know what? If it's something that you would like, hit me up, man. 30 pack or 80 bucks. I order 80 boxes. What's GBO? Up to 72 or 100. What am I even doing here at 30? Where are you guys getting 72 or 100 packs? I need to know. Yep, I order 12 almost every week. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's do it, Sugar Kitty. Glass bottle outlet. Why do I not do Gary? How come you're not telling me about this sooner? You're a friend of mine. You're a friend of the channel. Well, why don't I know about this? Here I am. When I do samples for Gary, I put him in these suckers. That's mostly, and Gary, I think you kind of hit this on the head. This is mostly because I know that you're going to put something else and give it back to me, and then we'll keep that going. Glass bottle outlet. No, I ordered mine from Amazon. How do I not know this? What? I feel like such a rube. You have the real channel thing. No, this is all news to me. Everyone, I'm so embarrassed. GBO, serious. No, it's glass bottle outlet. I, I'm speech. I'm without speech, Roger. How do I not know this? When I'm done with the stream, I will go on glass bottle outlet. I will look for a gigantic box of samples so that I'm not ordering a 30 pack every other week. Okay, so Joe the sample guy. So this sounds like somebody whose input I should trust here. Those single layer 80 bottles at 2 ounces boxes are the best. All right. Somebody's texting me. All right, I appreciate that, Travis. I'm going to check this out. How I don't know about this, you know what? Again, I'm not the end all be all here. I'm just a dude with a small channel, glass bottle outlet. All right, news to me. I have been enlightened. This is exactly how I feel at this point, Roger or Randall. I'm sorry. Okay, good to know. I'm so lying. I never heard of it. Okay, I appreciate the honesty and I appreciate you not piling on because I do feel silly for not knowing this. Zinga. Yep. Got me, guys. You know what? I'm gonna check this out when we're done here, and maybe it's something that really helps me going forward because I swear I've been through I don't know 5, 6 different packages of 30 packs this year, and again, I'm only streaming every other week. Um, I send out samples to buddies. I send out samples to uh, some folks that we do the jerk game with, and it seems like they go just like that. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. All right, going forward, everybody. Here's what's going on. Uh, I think on the 17th, we've got Carlos from Whiskey Corner coming back on the channel. We've had Carlos on before. He wants to play the jerk game. He wants to see if he can knock what's his name at 21090. Andy. Andy's at the top of the list at 7. Carlos wants a crack at him. So we're gonna give him that shot. Carlos is a fun guest, friend of the channel. Love Carlos, so I'm excited to get him back on here. As far as some other future streams, I know there's a stream that we're gonna have to do with Marty in the near future. Here, we've got a blind flight from Corvette Trey that he sent us both that we're trying to coordinate. So we're working on that. Tomorrow you should see a video best of 2025 whiskeys so far. So check that out. Guys, I'm going to say this, I toot my own horn a lot here. If you haven't watched the video that we put out last, it was the video for the that we did for the picks. And it was the vlog style video that we put together where we went to New Holland and then we went to Evernorth and kind of had some behind the scenes type footage. If you haven't watched that video yet, check it out. Again, I'm not a big channel. My videos don't generate a ton of clicks, ton of views, but I will say this, that in terms of how it's put together, the quality of the video, what you see, the experience, I think it's a really well put together video. And this is less me. I mean, I'm just the guy in the video. This is Tyler putting this together. Us trying to piece together about 100 different clips that we took while we were on this experience, piecing them together, doing a little voiceover, and trying to bring you behind the scenes on what it's like to be on a barrel pick. And you know what? I think he did a hell of a job. And it's one of those things where, man, I'm surprised that it hasn't generated a ton of interest, a ton of clicks, whatever. But it's a damn good video. So go check that out. Watch for the next one. Best of 2025 so far. Watch for future announcements on live streams. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. Appreciate you getting into the giveaways here tonight. I appreciate you guys getting into the Patreon, getting in on the picks, which you should be getting soon. And maybe we'll do something fun here in the near future when those are all in your hands. But I want you guys to know that I do appreciate you being part of this, and it means a lot. So to all you guys, cheers. Thanks for watching. Stay jerky.